Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective, just waiting on Pete to get in the dough. And welcome to everybody. I want to wave my hand. Angel Lawrence, 5212B, Margot, of course, John Boy. How you guys doing? Got C over here. Blue Lou, Conservative Patriot. Good to see y'all. Um, it's going to be an interesting show. Drop it like it's Scott's in the house. Cindy Duff, Blue Lou. Good to see you guys. NS, welcome. Over here on D Live, Ringer 1114 made it cool. We got two of them sitting over here over on Facebook. Can't tell. I got one share so far. The only way I know if somebody's actually watching there is if I get a comment. Typically, hello preacher, Donnie Newman, Effie loves America. How you doing? And let me see here. Put that back in there, Miss Preach. How you doing? Auctions for you. Welcome. And in vino veritas, hello to you, Gary Holland. Just giving it a second. Let everybody come on in here because we got a good show. We got some stuff to bring to light today. Pete already touched base on a couple of the topics, but as you know, sometimes we're going to overlap a little bit because we're on the same wavelength. That's why we've decided to do this kind of thing together. While I'm waiting for Pete to get in here, I want to keep that link available for him there so that it doesn't go too far away. I want to invite everyone to please join my D Live. Should something happen with Facebook and with YouTube, my D Live account, which I just put the link up for right now. My D Live account will be the go-to in that situation. Chris Link, how you doing? DM, welcome. Good to see you. Gary Holland, I think I waved at you already. Canoes of the Moon or something like that. How you doing? Six Stringer, welcome. Luciano, good to see you. So Don McElroy, welcome. All right, Franny, good to see you. I bleed American. All right. Come on, Pete. Just waiting on Pete. And then we'll get over there. But again, D Live link right there. Coca Loco, what's happening? Welcome. My D Live account is there, and I would please ask that you guys jump on that. Go hit the follow button because we all see that our viewership is being cut in half. Our videos are being pushed all the way to the bottom. Our searches are being cut off. Cindy Duff, good to go. Huey Cobra, good to see you. I'm going to quit calling you Honey Cobra. I'm sure that's an insult because I love a cobra. Blue Lou's over there also. And already got an ice cream from Hillbilly John Boy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Okay, I'm just still waiting on Pete. Take your time, Pete. We got, all afternoon, so whatever. Take your time. Go get something to eat. Go take a leak. Go take the kids out for a walk. Plays in the Dirts here. Bonnie Moore, welcome. Well, we're getting a good full house in here. Freebird, I love that meme. That one just cracks me up. There's a whole series of those on YouTube with the cats that miscalculate their jumps, and it's just so funny to see their reactions, the way they splay out. 11 people falling in on D Live. Awesome. That's pretty cool. I'm getting my numbers up over there. I'm up to 89 people on D Live, so I got a long ways to go because I got 1,800 subscribers on YouTube. So definitely need some more over there on D Live. USMC, how you doing? Jeff B, Ronald Rodriguez, welcome. Still waiting on Pete, but Steak 59, welcome, brother. Appreciate you coming over here. Freebird, appreciate the lemon. All right, I'm gonna paste this again so he can get it without it running over the top of the chat. Notice I'm just killing a minute. Thank you, John Boy, for the lemon. Appreciate that. Silly as I want to be. Welcome. Be careful. Yeah, just remember a little note to my mods. We are not going to play the silly games anymore by YouTube because of they're already suppressing our channel. So if people feel like they need to express themselves more pretty like in the chat, then let it go. If you guys have a hard time with the things said in the chat, just remember it goes to the top and it goes away. Again, I will not accept any at all discrimination on my channel. I mean, that's my golden rule. That's my constitution. I won't put up with it. But everything else, I mean, this is a constitutional free zone, and that means every amendment, even the ones that might bother some people, they're going to be protected here. And YouTube can just kiss my ever-loving ass. Apparently, Pete is trying to come in here. Again, YouTube games. So they like to screw around and mess with our feeds and stuff like that. Thank you for posting my PayPal DM. I appreciate you. DPFX, how you doing? Franny Pierce, should Marine close the toilet paper mills to make Democrats happy? Should Maine? Yeah, that would make them happy. Sure wouldn't help with a lot. What? Oh, Jeff, over here on Facebook. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Glad you joined us over there. It's hard to tell on Facebook when people join me over there. I'm sure that's no accident with Zuckerberg. He's just as bad as YouTube. Anyway, I know Pete's trying to get in here, but just trying to wait on him. I was playing with Margot. Yeah, I know. I got you. Believe me, I got a sense of humor. I can tell. You followed me on D Live, Angel Lawrence. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. It really will help because our days are short on YouTube. I just know they are. Hello, Lori. And I want to continue to reach folks. And the only way to do that is to have an alternative to this platform. I know a lot of people have a really hard time going somewhere besides YouTube, but sooner than later, you're going to have to realize that YouTube is going to be kicking conservatives out, and it's going to be a straight up liberals only or flying cats. And if you want to keep up with us, this stuff, like Pete and myself, again, Pete.
I clicked on the D Live link.
I waited and I saw the hand moving, and I grabbed you.
I clicked on the D Live link twice. I clicked on the D Live link twice.
Oh, did that work?
No, it didn't
work. Did you get over to my D Live?
Yes, no, I did. Good. It didn't work.
Wow, really? That's disappointing. Okay, good.
And I got a.
Oh yeah, I got a. Never mind.
And I got a.
You had to what now?
I have no idea. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, listen. All right. I heard a couple of your stories over there. I was listening to you while I was getting all set up and getting my articles all lined up and everything. I've actually found a couple of things that really don't directly pertain to the sniffles. So I was really impressed with that. This thing is going to start phasing its way out of the news because they found a cure for it, and the Democrats hate that. But before I get in the articles, I want to go into the subject here. This is going to be opinion based, but it's going to be based on some real significant clues that you pointed out and that I'm going to point out, and that is that the Democrats wanted this thing to be much more violent and deadly and destructive than they're getting. And they're still pushing to try to encourage the death from this event. We got the media doing it, and I've got examples. We've got the Democrat state leaders. You brought up the prime example. And then we've got the Democrats trying to block any attempt to help the American people. So media, we're going to jump into that one first. The media is flat out telling people, don't listen to President Trump. Like you said, they're saying that everything he's saying is going to lead to the death of people, when in reality, they're speaking in everything they say is going to lead to the death of American people. They're telling people, do not take the medications that President Trump is recommending, even though the medications are being recommended by physicians, scientists, and virologists. So the media is encouraging people to avoid taking life-saving medications. They're complicit in the pursuit of death through the sniffles.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And you're seeing them. They're actually telling people.
No. Okay.
They're telling people on live television that this is their end goal. That we're going to be as bad as. One of the things that I didn't talk about in my stream, I mentioned it, but Governor Cuomo in New York, which is now the epicenter of this whole outbreak. And I don't know if I threw it away or whatever what it was. He keeps talking about how I need the ventilators, I need the PPE, I need this, I need that. He needs all this stuff. Yesterday you saw him sitting in front of a warehouse full of protective equipment, a warehouse. And that was in direct response to the Attorney General saying, we are going to knock at your door if you are hoarding this stuff. That's not it. Okay, here.
Right.
He doesn't tell us the numbers in New York. We have X amount of people that are affected by this. Okay, but as of yesterday, the actual numbers of people, not in New York City, not on the island of Manhattan, but in the entire state, 621 people in hospitals right now for this virus, and 120 deaths. Okay, are you telling me that your whole system can't handle that many? They don't have 621 ICU beds. They don't have 621 ventilators throughout that whole state. They're hyping this up to make it into something they
there is
need.
Actually, right. There was a chance for Como to buy ventilators several years ago.
Nope.
There was a study done on New York, and there was apparently somebody went over the whole situation and said that if New York were ever to experience a pandemic, that they were grossly unprepared for it, and that they had an opportunity to buy ventilators at apparently a decent price, but he chose not to do it. And now all of a sudden they have what was told to him would happen, and now he's screaming for ventilators. The problem is he doesn't give a number of what he's got. He doesn't give the number of what he needs. He just says, we need. You got to send them to us. You got to give them to us. And then when we're done with them, we'll send them out to the rest. Screw the rest of the country. Send them to New York first. Let us keep them up here. Let a few people more die in the other states, and then we'll consider sending them back to you. So another example, Deidre Baker, how you doing? Another example of them wanting more death from this thing. Yes. They want to control the hoarding of the equipment. The Democrats do. And then you mentioned the governor of Nevada that he's trying to stop people from having access. His name is Steve Sisolak. And I know you said you don't want to mention his name on your show there, but the reality is people have got to know who these son of a bitches are, because these people don't give a damn about their constituents. They are playing the big game for the cabal and the globalists. And the more of you filthy peasants that can be killed off, the more they can push their narrative of Orange Man bad, vote for the hidden Biden. And we'll get into the hidden Biden pretty soon. But this this is what it was. Here's the article, and I'm going to tell you this is the Washington Times, so hence the slant. This is how they stated. Trump last week falsely stated that the Food and Drug Administration had just approved the use of a chloroquine to treat patients infected with coronavirus after the FDA's chief said the drug still needs to be tested for use. Trump overstated the drug's potential benefits in containing the virus. None of that is true. It's absolute falsehoods. The Food and Drug Administration, has approved this medication a long time ago. The military takes this medicine when they are deployed into heavy viral malaria locations. They're basically, they have it in their field kit. So I know all medication has side effects. I'm a big proponent of alternative medicines, but if something is working and somebody is lying there dying, then you take it, because it doesn't matter what the side effects are, because sometimes death may occur is better than this death is guaranteed.
So
100% if you're already
guaranteed.
Dying, they need to do an audit of the state and medical supplies and see what they really have. You're right, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff over here on Facebook. You're right. They need to audit the states, find out what these states are hoarding.
Look at Alex. Let me just bring this up. Do you think that the Attorney General Bill Barr was at that press conference a few days ago just by happenstance? What does the Attorney General have to do with the COVID-19, with the virus? Excuse me, I didn't mean to say that. What does he have to do with it? He was there to specifically tell Cuomo, specifically, not anybody else, because he made it a point to say, the ones that are hoarding toilet paper in your home, we don't need to, we're not coming after you. But the ones that have warehouses full of protective equipment for medical staff, expect a knock on the door. And you think, or all these people think, that it was a coincidence that Cuomo did a live broadcast the next day in front of medical equipment in a warehouse? You better open your eyes. You got to open your eyes to this and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What the heck kind of name is Como anyway? Sounds like a character out of a Harry Potter book. I don't think they have characters that disgusting in Harry Potter's books, because they are for kids, you know. Invader Zim, good to see you. Afternoon, fellow Americans. Thank you for your concerns for the safety of our little family. Pamela J. Powell, Nancy Pelosi. I kind of almost spit it out. Anyway, so yeah, there's some filth running around. All right, so we've gotten to the media that they want us dead because they want everybody to stop listening to the health advice of scientists and professionals. We've got the governors that are really amping up this thing so that they can create chaos, havoc, and insanity. And then we've got the Democrats themselves trying to block measures that would help the American people directly in moving money around for strategic locations and special operations. All of these are signs that they want the American people to collapse into absolute chaos. You mentioned your governor over there in Los Angeles, or the mayor. Listen, this dude has closed down gun shops, and he has stop the NICS system for background checks. Several of the Democrat states have done this in municipalities. So again, this is what is this, number 4 or 5 of examples that they want Americans to be in danger or dead through this thing, because people were buying guns at an incredible rate. And
You
Democrats,
want to know the number?
liberals, progressives.
You want to know the number? In Los Angeles County, in the last 60 days, 360,000 applications for firearms. The largest number of applications ever recorded. 360,000 in Los Angeles County alone.
Well, here's the yeah, it's a good number. Hey, everybody needs to practice their Second Amendment, not just the conservatives. But the other thing is they're letting people out of prison. So they are putting Americans in harm's way. You know, maybe some of these folks that have been locked up for a while have a place to go. But the reality is, if you go in there and you're in there for 6 months, a year, you don't have anywhere to go when you get out. They normally put you in halfway houses so that you have a chance to get an income, get some rent. Well, they go to the streets. But
that's right.
I guess that's right. A common thing.
Now they can round them up with the rest of the homeless people and then implement their plan, because that's their real agenda here, is to get rid of as many undesirables as possible. Right.
So again, they want death. They want chaos. Through chaos comes order is their motto. That's the Illuminati thing. And
that's right.
This is such an insane push. I mean, I go to my analogy of the soap. This soap has been sitting in water now for about 3 or 4 days, and somebody's about to grab that puppy and try to hold on to it, and it's damn near ready to fire. They are pushing this thing so hard that they're actually pushing people into the process of being awake. They are waking up the people by pushing so hard with this thing, because it becomes over the top, oh my God, kind of level. You can't push that hard without people sitting back and going, wow, this is really bizarre how much effort they're putting into this.
It's not hard.
We'll
it's
back
not
down
hard.
on the gun issue and be Pennsylvania, but gun stores have to sell by appointment only. Ammo sales is the issue in Pennsylvania at the moment. Yeah, the Gun Owners of America, I watched over there at Guns and Gadgets, and the FBI stopped doing the NICS background checks. And according to their own laws in NICS, the only time that that's allowed is on weekends and holidays. So this fact of shutting it down is an unconstitutional act. And right now, the Gun Owners of America are pushing to have the NICS process eliminated, because it's always been unconstitutional, but right now even more so, because they're stopping people from practicing their Second Amendment rights. So the FBI could have a hell of a lawsuit coming real soon. The Dems went as far to smear President Trump as a medical team due to the capable that intake of hazardous chemical. They're warning labels for a reason. Okay, yeah, you're talking about the chlorine phosphate, which was yeah. Well, since we're talking about them wanting everybody to die, we know they don't want anybody to take the chloroquine, but there's a problem here that they have jumped on this thing about the folks that took the chloroquine phosphate cleaning solution for their aquarium. And the reality is chloroquine phosphate was just one of the small amounts of ingredients that was in that fish tank cleaning medication. So they assumed that since they saw it there in writing on the label, hey, this is the medication. We should take this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that they do things with prescription. So, you have to get it prescribed to you. The doctor's going to monitor your activity. You have the access to emergency medical care if you have an allergic reaction to the medication. So everything is controlled. It's not just a free for all. That's what whole prescription stuff is about. But these folks took a fish tank cleaner that only one of the ingredients was chloroquine.
And that was President
Go ahead,
Trump's
please.
fault. That's President Trump's fault, right? Right? Because for 2 days,
Well,
for
the
2
fall
days,
of Rome was
the media was harping on that
the
story.
fall of Rome was his fault.
Chloroquine is going to look what
Yeah.
happened to this guy. He took chloroquine and he died. He died because the president said chloroquine was going to help. And they said it over and over and over again. But like you said, they neglected to tell the American public that the guy took fish tank cleaner, not hydroxychloroquine
Right.
that's been used for years and prescribed by doctors. But they had
Yeah.
to make sure that they got that out because President Trump said it. If the president doesn't
Right.
take the media over
Well,
in this unprecedented time and shut these people up, they're going to get a lot of people killed. A lot of people killed.
And that's what they want. They want the death count isn't near high enough. They
Damn
can't
right it's not.
get rid of President Trump with this low of a death count. They want a total annihilation of this country so that there is no question on November 3rd that there's no way in the world this man could continue to lead. They want complete and total destruction of this country.
Yep.
So, yeah, they are contributing to a dangerous trend. Eagle Talons, how you doing? Lori M, good to see you too. DM, thank you for the lemon. I appreciate that. I wasn't looking over here. I should have looked over here a little bit. Appreciate that. You guys rock. Thank you for all that. But anyway, so yeah, what I did was I pulled up the chloroquine because I wanted to make a couple of things clear. That first off, malaria is transferred by blood, and the chloroquine does fight that. But I opened up Wikipedia, and it changed pages on me. Here we go. Now, again, I have to state that with Wikipedia, you have to take things with a grain of salt. But usually, if they go by a label in their description, then you're pretty close. But it says chloroquine is a medication primarily used to prevent and treat malaria in areas where malaria remains sensitive to its effects. Certain types of malaria-resistant strains and complicated cases typically require different or additional medications. So I'll stop right there. My father was a doctor. You guys know that by now. I've said it in many of my videos. There is a thing called a cocktail, a medication cocktail. When somebody has underlying conditions, they may not be able to take one medication straight up the arse. They have to look at their conditions. They have to think about the reactions of medications. They know chloroquine is the direct route to a cure, but in a case of somebody with underlying conditions, you create a cocktail. So you're going to accomplish the same thing as chloroquine, but you have to put several medications together that all have a different purpose with the goal of coming to the same conclusion. So it's not going to necessarily be chloroquine or chloroquine all by itself. It will be a cocktail of medications used to treat the entire array of symptoms. But it says chloroquine is also occasionally used for amebiosis or amoebiasis. I'm not sure what that is. That is occurring outside of intestines rheumatoid arthritis, and lupus erythematosus. I do not do the medical dictionary thing. But anyway, while it has not been formally studied in pregnancy, it appears safe. It is also being studied to treat COVID-19 as of 2020. So the studies are going on. The cure rate is very high, and that is a problem to the Democrats. They can't have a high cure rate because that goes against their ultimate plan. But I mean, go ahead and add to that if you want to, Pete.
Now, when the president came out and said this thing about chloroquine, did not he say that an array of drugs, including hydroxycone or whatever it was called, and chloroquine,
right.
Hydroxychloroquine, can be used? So right there, you have a
right.
cocktail of two drugs that are mixed together in order to treat this. The president said that. He said that drug,
hydroxychloroquine. Right. The hydroxychloroquine just means that chloroquine is the base, but then there's a hydroxy agent on the front end of it. So you're still taking one pill, but it's got the mix of something else in it. The chloroquine phosphate was the material added to the aquarium cleaner. So for animals.
Right.
But anyway, I think we've well established in almost 30 minutes.
Oh, go ahead.
He was saying what now?
No, he was saying that it was
please finish.
A cocktail with those ingredients.
Right.
So the media knows that, but they push the fact of that it's not going to work because look, somebody took it and died.
Right. Yeah, because again, not enough death yet for their mission to be complete. So they have to keep people away from anything that could potentially help them in this. But yeah, so like I said, almost 30 minutes now, I think we've proven without any shadow of a doubt that the Democrats would rather us be dead than to be here to vote in November 3rd of 2020. Yes. So just keep that in mind. And we will go on to the next subject here. And this one is yours and my favorite. Maybe not. Joe Biden postpones on-camera press briefing after disastrous TV appearance. Yep. They're trying to keep him hidden, and that's part of what this whole thing is. The virus was intended to stop the momentum of President Trump with his rallies, but it was also planned on being used to hide Joe Biden from the public, because every time that man comes into the public, he threatens somebody, or he goes into a dead stare, he forgets his lines, or talks about petting children. Yeah. So they've got to keep him away from people, and that's part of the plan with this. Yeah, so I'll hit up the beginning of this article here. It says, Democrat presidential frontrunner Joe Biden postponed an on-camera press briefing late Tuesday after a series of awkward and ultimately disastrous television appearances earlier in the day. Of course, it's on CNN. Joe Biden canceled his online press briefing that was scheduled today after making an appearance on CNN and The View. His campaign says he will do the briefing again tomorrow. They have to keep coaching him because he's got advanced Alzheimer's. Yahoo News White House correspondent Hunter Walker wrote on Twitter that Biden had canceled his online press briefing after a CNN appearance and on The View. His campaign says he will do the briefing again tomorrow. Who is his campaign? Is there a spokesman, or is there a whole series of puppeteers that have their hand up his ass and holding the strings from above?
His wife. His wife wants the presidency. That's what it is. It's not Joe Biden who's the puppet here. It's his wife. She's the one pulling the
Yeah, well,
strings.
the same thing with the Clintons.
Exactly. She's the one pulling the
Absolutely.
strings. Because if she had any pity
I wonder.
for her husband, she would put an end to this. The man's almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
She would put an end to this and say enough is enough. Do you think during this pandemic that CNN and MSNBC wouldn't have Joe Biden on 24/7 if he was coherent enough to do it? They absolutely would.
Yep, they got to keep him hidden.
Right? They absolutely would. Something is wrong with Joe Biden. And now his wife and his handlers can't cover it up.
They're just trying to get him close enough to the election that they can put in somebody in his place because of some health condition that they'll suddenly declare. And it's going to either be old Mike or it's going to be Satan herself. But either way, somebody's going to step in. And I think the ticket is going to end up being old Mike and Satan as first and second. And then old Mike better learn to hide because Satan will, maybe he'll suicide himself. But speaking of old Mike, apparently his mother died and left all of her worldly possessions to her son, Mike, or Michael, or, something to that effect. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Oh, I'm sorry for his loss.
I am too, but I wouldn't. There's only a few people on the planet I would wish death upon, and that's only because of the trail of death that they've brought with them. Eye for an eye and all that stuff.
Old school.
But anyway, so that is the deal. Yes. Their time is short. All right. Now, I want to talk about something that I found going on in China that is really, really disgusting me. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Chinese government. I love the Chinese people. I love people. I've been all over the world. I've met incredible people. So I love humanity. I hate governments. They are the epitome of evil, and they are designed to do nothing but control and kill people. That's why governments declare war. People don't declare war. If you have a schoolyard brawl, you've had a battle. Yeah. You beat the snot out of the person that's picking on you, and that war is over.
Yep.
There's nothing beyond that. So governments decide we need to kill people, not people. Anyway, so going to China. The headline on this one, this is Breitbart, by the way. And the last report was Breitbart as well. China uses the sniffles crisis to bulldoze churches and temples. So just like our Democrats are trying to use this disaster to put more control measures in on the populace, that those control measures may not go away, by the way. They're going to be pretty happy with them. So they're going to, hang on to them after a while. But religious freedom watchdog groups are accusing the Chinese Communist Party of using the Wuhan sniffles epidemic as an opportunity to intensify their crackdown on religion, bulldozing some churches and placing others under heavy surveillance. If you praise God, if Jesus is your savior, then you are wrong in China. So that's some bullshit. All right. I'm a major advocate for all constitutional rights, including the right to your religion. I don't have to agree with the religion. But I don't insult it and I don't judge it, period. So all amendments should be practiced, and China is just destroying their place.
Well, they're doing that here.
So what do you think? Really?
They're doing it here. Do not go to your church. We're shutting the churches
Exactly.
down.
That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Right? We're shutting down the synagogues. We don't
want
want
that
you
connection.
to congregate. We don't want you to congregate more than 2 people. You know what?
Sergeant Bob, how you doing?
It's okay for Congress. It's okay for Congress or whoever to congregate in more than 2 people. You see them standing on top of each other all the time over there now on television. You got somebody sitting right behind Mitch McConnell. You got Chuck Schumer sitting up at the dais with that guy's hand up his ass, telling him what to say all the time. But you don't go to church because you might spread the virus. You might spread the virus. And we don't know when we're going to reopen the churches because you might spread the virus.
Right.
Come on, people. Come on. You can see.
But here's something you can also add this to it.
Right.
You can add one more thing to the churches. You can also add all of these city leaders and county leaders. They're all having their meetings to decide what changes to do to their public. And the meetings are closed. So the public can't come in and protest. They can't come in and argue their case. So
you're watching.
Yeah.
You know what? For anybody who wants to go watch.
No, please go ahead. I just wanted to add that in there.
No, you're correct. Go get a copy of the Constitution, right? Get a copy of the Constitution and go down to where it says the Bill of Rights and watch how many people, just like Alex said, are taking your rights away behind closed doors because under the guise of the virus, we can't have you saying what you're going to say because we don't want to get infected. You can just watch them, and then when they come out of their meetings, you can watch them click it off. Well, we'll take the First Amendment right there, and there's a Second Amendment that's going to go too. And oh, look, the Third Amendment. Yeah, we don't need that one either. Right. Bullshit.
Hold on just one second. Hold on here. Lori M is getting ready to bug out, but she just made one hell of a good question. She says, before I go, does anyone know if these rules apply to Native American property or businesses?
Yes.
I don't know.
They do.
That is an incredibly good question.
They do.
But who's going to enforce it?
The department
on the reservations, you mean?
They had the guy on TV not too long ago saying that these rules apply to reservations because you can't have people congregate on the reservation in the casinos and in the other places because then the spread of the virus will just wipe out the community. So we're having this go over all of the United States, including reservations. That was a couple of weeks ago that they said that. Oh, yeah, just because you're Native American.
I'm glad you had an answer for that.
Yeah, just because you're Native American doesn't think that you have any special rights than the rest of us schleps in this country who are being virusized by all this crap. No, they want you gone just as bad as they want us gone.
Right.
Matter of fact, they might.
Lori, you're right. They are sovereign.
Yes. Does that really matter? Does your sovereignty really matter?
Well, apparently not.
Apparently not. Because under the Constitution, the Second Amendment says I have a right to own a firearm. But because of what's going on now, they telling me I don't. Am I really sovereign?
Right.
Come on, I don't mean to yell, Alex, but
silly as a wannabe reservations here are business as usual. Interesting. Yeah.
Lori
Indian folk, my brothers and sisters, we're defiant.
Yeah, Lori M says, "Are you sure?"
It's never been that way. They've been that way.
Absolutely, because like I said, Lori, over and over and over again, this is unprecedented, and I use those dreaded air quotes all the time because this is all new. It's unprecedented. When something is unprecedented, they get to make up the rules as they go along. That's how they get.
Yeah, this is all Agenda 21. Ringer 1104. It is
Native
all
American,
Agenda 21. It's the
they're
problem
not
is right now.
exempt from this.
They're not. Go ahead.
The Native American community is not exempt from this. They don't.
Yeah,
Our government doesn't care
it's
whether you're an American citizen or a Native American citizen on a sovereign reservation. Right now, they don't care because their only agenda is to
on
slow
another
the
note.
spread. Go ahead.
I just wanted to add a little note there. I'm not a citizen. I'm an American. If you think
understand
about
what
what
I'm saying.
citizen means,
Yes.
you go back to. Oh, of course I do. But, you're killing me. Anyway, so yeah, I am an American, and all of you other filthy citizens can be whatever you want, but no, I am not a product. A citizen is a piece of paper in a warehouse of products and goods and services. So just
right.
remember that you are not a citizen; you are an American.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get into that later. Anywho, American Joe, how are you, sir? Minimum of
American
23,000
Joe.
people have died from the flu in the past 6 months to date. 737 Americans have died from the sniffles. The only thing unprecedented is the government response. Brother, you have nailed it right on the head right there, guarantee. All of us have been saying there is something. This is either a massive power grab. Maybe it's the final battle between good and evil. None of us are really sure what's going on, but any of us that has a brain realizes that something much bigger than the sniffles is going on.
Absolutely.
And personally, I can't stand all the secrecy. I don't want to be treated like somebody's child anymore. If they have something going on, I think I'm quite old enough and mature enough to handle it. And I just get tired of all this. We're doing what's best for you. I think I can handle what's best for me.
Exactly.
Bonnie Moore, how you doing?
I am not a child. I can handle what's best for me and my family.
Right.
Like I said in my show, if all 535 members of Congress and their staff disappeared today, my world will still go on. I will have more money in my pocket and I will prosper without them being there.
Yep. Yeah, they are designed for restraint. So exactly. Yeah, you nailed it with that when I was watching your show. So, but anyway, that China thing just absolutely disgusts me. That's one government I would love to see collapse, and I'd love to see those people freed. But it bothers me that you can have a country of 2 billion people that can't muster enough courage to overtake potentially 2 to 3 million people. I mean, that's if you count their military and their government, the 2 billion people are being taken complete control of like a gnat on an elephant's ass. So
yep. You know why?
They decided they're sick of it, fear.
No.
Yeah.
No. Not fear. Has nothing to do with fear. What's the one thing the United States has that communist China doesn't? The right to bear arms.
You're killing me. I don't know.
The right to bear arms.
Okay. But the Chinese do have knives. They have people that are quite capable of making non-conventional weaponry. The problem is that the people that if they decided to do this, some people are going to die. And most people are like, well, I don't want to be the one in the front because I don't want to die.
That's right.
The closer they get to complete and total control, the more likely it is you're going to die from something anyway, because they're going to flat out kill you. So people have to just suck it up and say, you know what? I'm going to do this for my country. I'm going to go in here. We're going to make a mountain of people and we're going to mow over these son of a bitches and we're going to take our country back. I would be willing to be at the front of any line that would be required to take a country back. because that's the kind of person I am. But you have to coordinate too, and it's like herding cats, because everybody thinks, oh well, I'm going to wait for him to do it. I'm going to wait for them to do it. We're going to wait for them to do it, but nobody wants to do it. So it's you can't get rid of a tyrannical government if nobody is willing to do it.
Right. You're absolutely right. It's just you're watching it in I don't even know how to say it. I don't even know how to say it. The people are there. They want to go, but there's something holding everything back. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what
a little thing called, well, there's small operation forces are very effective, and groups of 5 to 8 people can wreak havoc on an entire country. So that's the other thing to think of. If they just started disrupting normalcy in their government, then they could eventually get control of it. So,
and that's why
I get tired of watching people in other countries get mowed over.
But that's why this thing is global. That's why this thing that we're seeing is global, because you had chaos in the Middle East. You had chaos in Asia. You have chaos in India, in Pakistan, in Kashmir. You had chaos in France, in Europe, in Germany. You had chaos coming all over the country, all over the world. They needed something to stop the chaos. They had it, and they implemented it. They implemented it. I still haven't heard anything from Belgium, except for the 3 cases that they had in Belgium. Okay, Prince Charles just got diagnosed with this virus, but the Queen is fine. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now Prince Charles, have you heard anything from the other brother? Where's the other brother? Where's the one who was refusing his pedophilia charges in the United States? Where did he go? Where's he at?
No, they're hiding him.
Oh, they're hiding him.
But I heard actually that it was the but I heard the entire royal family has been exposed to COVID-19. So, it's the shock news. So I don't know. I only take little tiny pieces of the headlines from news, because most of it's shock jocks looking to get the biggest response and the biggest scare from the public. So if they tell the public over there that their entire royal family has been potentially exposed or whatever, again, they're trying to scare their locals.
Oh, and now
I say good riddance, hope you heal up quick, have fun.
Now there's actually stories coming out, and I have a couple or 3 of them that I pulled, but I haven't actually verified them yet. They're from decent sources, but I want to make sure before I say anything about it, and I come out and say yes, 100%, that they are actually verifiable. The 600 arrests last month were not Mexican cartel members.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you saw some of the same stories that I saw, but it's starting to come out that large quantities of people are being arrested, not just here in the United States.
Right. Right. Worldwide.
What better cover than to try and hide than to have a pandemic worldwide? But that's going into stuff that's
going to have to coming in, Lawyer. You have a good day.
Bye, Lori.
God bless you. Yeah, it's crazy what's going on.
It's getting there.
All right, here we go. I wanted to get to this because we're really harping on the subject of fake news, and we all know that Adam Schiff did his thing in Congress, or in the House rather, where he created a conversation that was supposed to take place between President Trump and the president of Crimea, and we all saw the transcripts and know that it was absolute crap, but they still had to run with it because they had already jumped in head first. But another example here is the Washington Compost. Fact checker Glenn Kessler pulls a Schiff, gets caught attributing a quote to Trump that he never said. Remember when House Intel Chief Adam Schiff, Democrat California, stopped to stoop to a new low back in September with a so-called parody reading of a July phone call between President Trump and Ukraine Prime Minister Zelensky? Schiff just made up things that Trump didn't even say in order to boost his case that Trump should be impeached. Fast forward to March, and the Washington Compost. Glenn Kessler is having a hold my beer moment on quoting Trump. In a tweet yesterday, Kessler linked to a piece anyway, so it's linked up below, but done by his Washington Post colleagues that disputed the wisdom of Trump wanting to return the country back to some semblance of normalcy within a few weeks. To try and emphasize the point of the piece, which Kessler clearly agreed with, the fact checker shared a quote about how progress shouldn't be implemented even if there was a pile of bodies over in the corner, insinuating it's what Trump said when asked about the timeline for getting things back to normal. I knew they were going to run with this after that one briefing when he said Easter would be a beautiful time to come back to normal. I could almost hear the headlines. Anyway, it says, hey, keep going to restaurants, go buy new houses, ignore that pile of bodies over there in the corner. Why? Trump's impatience to restart economy could be disastrous. That's Glenn Kessler's tweet. So these people are just straight up nuts. And speaking, when President Trump said, okay, thank you and have a good day, were you listening to that by chance? Did you hear that one reporter at the end where she says, well, Mr. President, why are you pushing to have the country released by Easter? Are you encouraging more people to be exposed to the virus? You can expose an entire village by one gathering. I mean, just a real bitch right there at the end, and she had to belt it out so it was all over the news.
Right. And that'll be the last time she's at one of those press briefings. Because have you noticed that the guy who said from
I hope so.
The one who said that he was being sensationalizing this from MSNBC, he said you're a bad reporter.
That guy?
You notice he's not there no more, right? You notice he's not there anymore. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Oh man, that dude was a drama queen. I mean, all this. Oh, I got the vapors. He's challenging my idiocy.
Do you notice who's not at those White House press briefings? Jim Acosta.
Oh yeah.
Right, Jim Acosta is not there.
Your favorite and mine.
Because he is not allowed inside the White House. They gave him his press credentials back because the law said that they had to because he was a journalist. There is no law that says that he has to be allowed in a private residence, which the White House is. It is the residence of the President of the United States, and he has no right to be there. And they're enforcing that.
He is such a lost puppy. I sure wonder what's in his past. What skeletons is that piece of crap hiding? I just wonder.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay. Huey Cobra over here says, I think the sniffles virus is going to be used to say the pedophile in Hollywood died from it and the U.S. Marines take them down. I'm fine with whatever they have to do. The arrests that I want to see are the capital criminals that have been raping this country for millennia, and we can start by, the head of the snake, and that would be Hillary Clinton. There's enough evidence to arrest and convict her 1,000 times, and she's still walking free. So that's the one. I don't care. Whatever they do to the rest of these people, I don't care if they snuff them out in a street corner or an alley. Huh?
Is she? I haven't seen her in a month.
Yeah. Right. But the people deserve the chance to see that woman or thing perp walked. That one should not be in anybody's secret operation. That's disgusting to me.
I agree. I agree with that. Alrighty.
Thank you, Sergeant Bob. I like being a crusty old vet. Because still got it when I need it, that's for sure. But yeah, anyway, so I think that's kind of where we are right now. I'm going to double check right here. Oh, okay. Let me close out our show with actually a couple of decent stories here. Instead of it all being doom and gloom, Trump's approval rating is at an all-time high, according to new polls. Despite the ongoing crisis with the Wuhan sniffles wreaking havoc on the society, the American people are rallying around President Donald Trump, boosting his approval rating to heights not seen since 2018. According to The Hill, I bet that hurt. Hill-Harris X poll revealed that Trump's approval rating is now at 50%. President Trump received his highest approval rating since 2018 in a Hill-Harris X poll released Tuesday. 50% of registered voters approve of Trump's draw performance, while 50% disapprove. I heard the numbers are much higher in the approval rating, but this is, again, another, it's another left-wing newspaper that's better to be used as toilet paper. But anyway, the last time his approval rating reached 50% or higher was again August of 2018, when he received 51% support. The approval is, of course, split down party lines, no kidding, with 85% of Republican voters in approval and just 19% of Democrat approving of the job Trump is doing. Independent voters are split with 50% approval.
Zombie.
So either way, the Democrats are losing because the approval.
Zombie 5 dumpster dive, mass boy, said, I heard 60%. It's actually 63. Because somebody on CNN goofed up this morning and actually said it was 63%. Democrats, Republicans, and independents.
Hey, watchful warrior. Watchful Warrior's throwing them fighting words at me over here. He says, DM Damad, when you're done with amateur hour, you know where I am. I know he didn't.
He just, I saw it right there.
I bet he even dropped his little, magic microphone too when he said that, sitting back there. But that's okay. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Say, okay. That's all right. Let him play his little fun and games over there. Nobody gets hurt. You can't hurt my feelings.
Oh, look, sorry. He wrote boom.
All right. Last story. Did he say? Remember, the magic microphone doesn't really go boom because it's plastic. It's that little thing that we had as kids for, singing our little things. But it was probably more like a kick-hack when it hit the floor instead of a boom, But that's all right. It's all good. Nope, don't want to talk to them anyway. All right, last story of the day. I know we're at our hour, and I know by now you probably got a weak bladder going on over there, Pete. But I want to finish up with this one. President Trump saved my life, and he can save millions more. Some people don't hear the good things that happen in the world, but here's one of them. For those of you who don't already know my story, after surviving a medical error in 2015, only to be diagnosed with a rare bone cancer, I found myself without the luxury of time or to wait for possibly life-saving treatment to be approved. Sound familiar? Millions of Americans right now are unfortunately experiencing my same fear, as we don't have the luxury of waiting months or even years for the sniffles cure to be approved. Although the sniffles is certainly different from cancer, it's still the same invisible enemy of death. But just because the enemy is invisible doesn't mean it is unbeatable, especially when you're fighting for your life. They find Donald Trump fighting for it too. President Trump recently announced in his visionary life-saving approach to treating the sniffles through right to try exploring experimental treatments that could potentially eradicate the virus even around the 5th day of treatment. But some alarmists are already crying, danger, danger, denouncing the president as giving a false sense of hope, and even going as far as trying to scare people into thinking the treatment might kill you. So what's new? Mary fought against giving the terminally ill the right to try for almost half a century until President Trump got it done. For the life of me, I don't see what's so dangerous about having the right to try a potentially life-saving treatment if you know that without it, you're going to die anyway. Like the president says, what do you have to lose?
Yep.
Because you know we can bring our finances back very quickly. We can't bring people back. So a little bit of a feel-good story and a reminder. And it also gives me a question that I want to give to you, Pete, on the way out. Do you think that President Trump saw this event coming, and that's why he decided to do the executive order right to try?
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely do. Because what more does it fit in now than ever? And you keep hearing the president say, we can't have the cure be worse than the illness. You keep hearing him say that.
Right.
So the simplistic cure of something that's already here, you don't have to be vaccinated like they're pushing to be vaccinated and vaccinated and vaccinated. If something's already out there to cure, we can't have the cure be worse than the illness, than the sickness. Listen to what the president's saying.
Yeah, they don't want a cure. Yeah.
No.
They don't want a cure. They want a treatment, just like everything else through the big pharmaceutical companies. If they give a cure, then they lose billions. So they want a treatment.
Look at the
better
flu
to
shot.
treat it than to cure it.
Look at the flu shot. Yeah. Everybody, millions and millions of flu shots go out every year because the flu mutates every year. Every year. So you have to get a new shot every year. How do we know it mutates? Every time I get the flu, it feels exactly the same. I feel like shit. My nose is sniffling and I'm coughing. And then a week later, it goes away. I don't get no flu shots. Alrighty.
Right. I don't get them either. I'm actually pretty deathly allergic to them, so that saves me a little bit. All right. That being said, that is it for us today, and we will be on again tonight at Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock Central and 6 o'clock Pacific with Fact, Fiction, and Beyond. Make sure you come see us. We're going to be talking about adrenochrome and some of the nastiness that's going on behind the curtain, and we're going to be bringing some of it to light if we're allowed to move forward without the without YouTube cutting off our feed. So
we'll see what happens.
Anyway, I will leave it at that, and I will say to my mods, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Everybody else hanging out on Facebook, D Live, and on YouTube, thank you guys. You guys all rocked the joint. Appreciate all my ice creams and lemons and everything that goes with that. Pete, as always, thank you very much. You look like you have to fart. But anyway, I will see you tonight.
Yes, sir.
You want to say anything on the way out?
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. And Fact, Fiction, and Beyond tonight, it's going to be interesting. We're going to go into stuff that Alex and I really haven't gotten into, but really want to. So hopefully I see you all there tonight, 6 o'clock.
I would say that's about right.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yep. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Right.
That's right.
9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's the one we'll count back from. All right,
Exactly.
everybody.
Good
Stay
night.
in the fight.